Akihabara functions as a vertical, physical database, demanding you scroll up through its buildings rather than walk its streets. Treating this district like a traditional shopping stroll keeps you trapped on the ground level, where you'll only find generic tourist souvenirs. This is a physical proto-metaverse, where hyper-segmented subcultures, from vintage capacitors to specific anime eras, are stacked 10 stories high. This quadrant chart maps the relationship between the effort you put in and the depth of immersion you get back. Low effort keeps you in the generic corners, while targeting specific floors in specific buildings leads you into the vertical treasure hunt. To get the results you want, you have to abandon the fear of missing out and commit to one tactical persona. A casual visit leads to sensory overload. Winning here means trading aimless freedom for a specific targeted strike. For the tech and hardware buyer, the modern path leads straight to massive department stores like Yodobashi Camera or Bic Camera. These megastores offer extreme convenience, providing immediate access to multilingual concierges, hands-on displays, and stacked tax-free discounts for tourists. The trade-off involves sacrificing the district's gritty history to pay standard retail prices inside a sanitized, globalized shopping mall. The historical alternative remains under the train tracks at the Akihabara Radio Center. Navigating this narrow maze gives you access to the area's post-war roots, selling rare 1950s-era DIY components and raw circuit boards. The friction here is high. Stalls are claustrophobic, transactions are mostly cash-only, and vendors often prohibit tourist photography. Success in these underground makerspaces requires a highly specialized focus on the specific capacitors and soldering tools you need. Tech buyers must choose, prioritize modern, frictionless retail discounts, or commit to the authentic, high-friction hardware hunt. The second persona is the retro collector, and their most famous destination is Super Potato. Walking into Super Potato delivers a flawlessly curated hit of nostalgia, where you are almost guaranteed to find specific, pristine vintage titles. That convenience carries a premium. You will pay a steep price because the curation and testing are already done for you. For deep cuts and rare collectibles, the hardcore alternatives are multi-story giants like Mandrake or Surugagaya. These stores are supplied by a massive ecosystem of fan-created works and secondhand goods that flood out of colossal events like Comiket. Scoring a deal at a place like Mandrake requires a massive investment of time spent digging through 8 floors of packed bins. Bargain hunting in these deep-cut collector stores is a highly chaotic, intensely physical test of your daily endurance. Retro collectors face a strict equation: trade your cash for curated convenience, or trade your vacation hours for discovery. The final persona is the cultural explorer, whose goal is to experience Akihabara's famous maid cafes. These cafes are integrated into the district's architecture, operating as an interactive layer of the subculture visible from the street. Choosing an established chain like At Home Cafe provides a safe, highly produced, and family-friendly hospitality experience. The trade-offs for this environment include mandatory entry fees, strict restrictions on photography, and heavily scripted interactions. The danger lies in following aggressive street touts into unverified venues, or JK high school girl cafes. Stepping off the curated path often results in extortionate cover charges and directly funds unregulated exploitative industries. For cultural explorers, safety must override the desire for a spontaneous experience. Sticking to the corporate chains is the only viable move. Knowing where to go is only half the battle. Executing the trip requires strict rules, starting with timing. On Sunday afternoons, the main artery of Chuodori closes to vehicle traffic, becoming the pedestrian paradise. Sundays present a trade-off. You experience the peak of the district's energy, but you must navigate through maximum crowd density. Regardless of the day, taking unsolicited photos of locals, cosplayers, or maid cafe workers on the street is strictly prohibited. Treating the district like an interactive theme park for your camera will result in immediate confrontation from the community. The impulse to see everything across every subculture in a single 3-hour window is a recipe for failure. This approach guarantees physical burnout, leaving visitors exhausted, overstimulated, and empty-handed. This scorecard summarizes your execution plan. Pick a single persona, embrace the vertical climb, and respect the local etiquette. Akihabara is an uncompromising analog representation of a digital database. Pick a lane,